Okay, game number 1, best of 5, Battlefield of Eternity, Playday number 7. It's halftime, everybody. It's the last match before, well, the first half of the Masters Clash is over. So that's what's happening right now. We have the Donuts against SoundLess, and it's kind of an interesting setup because it's the team in blue, Team SoundLess, that probably made the... I'm thinking about it right now, but I really think they are the team that made the biggest splash in the scene throughout the season thus far. They were able to take down some opponents where everybody thought, okay, they're going to lose to them, and they played the usual aggressive style that you can expect from Russian-Ukrainian teams, so it's kind of fun to watch and enjoy. Now, on the other hand, of course, we got the Donuts, who had this insane series against the Hardos, and they are still aiming for the top. I mean, they are in the top 3, but they're, of course, aiming to not only cement that position a little bit, but also they want to attack the Hardos even further and try to claim that number 1 spot. And with that goal, you have to make sure that you're getting quite a few points out of Team SoundLess. So that's what they're going to try and do here. With Chromie banned out, actually, it's kind of interesting because Uther isn't banned. We don't have a ban on Medivh yet. Sonya isn't banned, so there's 3 heroes at least that are usually pretty good on this one. And it is Sonya, which they ban out. That leaves us with Uther up, which could be taken, and it of course leaves us, as already mentioned, also with Medivh, which is an option here. But it should be an interesting one. I mean, these are 2 of the teams that are currently in the top 4, so that makes it quite interesting. And since they are more or less direct competitors at this point, that adds a little bit more spice to the mix. Battlefield of Eternity, of course, kicking in as our first map, and there's the Uther first pick. Here we go. Not banned out and therefore taken. And this is a map where, at least in the past, for the Donuts, we had a lot of these Anub'arak combos with Stukov, and as it happens, they start with Stukov right away. Now we can play it with Anub, we can play it with Varian. If they want to go for that snipe combo, here's the opportunity to set it up. But they go for Cassia first. Now, unless the blue team picks one away and bans the other, they still will have an option later to go for either Anub'arak or for Varian. So both of those are going to be still fine here. But, well, time will tell. This is one of those series where I don't really know what we're going to get. It's a little bit similar to what happened when the Donuts played against the Hardos. I mean, it was an incredible series, but at the beginning I was a bit worried that it could be a 3-0. And thankfully, that wasn't the case, but it was kind of spicy to just like head into the series and not really know what to expect, because sometimes the Donuts show up as an absolute powerhouse, sometimes they make quite a few mistakes where you're like, hey, what's going on here? But anyway, as it stands, we got a Vala, we have Ana already in, so that's a double support setup, of course, with Uther doubling as the main tank, and Vala with an arrow build is going to chunk down the Immortal quickly. Malthael gets banned here. And that leaves us with the potential to ban out Anub'arak or Varian if they want to get rid of it, to ensure that the Donuts cannot quite go into that setup that they usually play here. Yeah, with Mei also banned out. Lauber had a couple of games with Mei, especially on Infernal Shrines in some of the last matches that they played, where he controlled the opponent's team from start to finish, so it was pretty impressive. Here comes the Anub'arak ban. Leaves them with Varian if they want to go for that killer comp. But I like that Anub'arak was banned on that Varian, because you would normally look at this and you're saying like, hey, why don't they ban Varian? The Hardos play Varian all the time, other teams play Varian with Stukov, and it works incredibly well. The main reason is honestly that Anub'arak was a go-to hero for Lauber's team throughout the entire season, and especially in Battlefield of Eternity, they played this Anub'arak and Stukov style a lot. I talked about it a bit earlier in the draft, and they're terrifying with it. That is also terrifying. Lily Oriel. So they go for that triple support again. And if you're just looking at the screen like, oh my god, what's happening? This is a style that they played a few times now. This is the 3rd time that they're playing a triple support on Battlefield of Eternity. And that particular setup only works on Battlefield of Eternity because they're giving up a lot of the wave clear that you would need on a lot of other maps. But here on Battlefield with the team fights, triple support works. So now we got Rexa and we got Hogger in. And the question is still, what is Rutsu going to pick as the last pick here? But yeah, we got Lily, Stukov and Oriel. So here we go. They opt again for their triple support. Together with Cassia And they still need a last and final hero before we're heading into the next one. But there we go. It's Suljin. Alright, Rutsu's trolling a little bit as we're going into Battlefield of Eternity. Game number 1 of the best of 5. We got a double support against a triple support. Battlefield of Eternity, ladies. Team SoundLess against the Donuts here at the Masters Clash. Okay, let's go. SoundLess against the Donuts. Game number 1. We got the double support against the triple support. And we got Suljin, so that's going to make things fun. He's going to have a lot of survivability with this setup. On the left side, we got Hydra on Rexa, Nano P on Vala. Shamsik is playing Ana in this game. We currently got Farlander on Hogga. And Sir Ice Cream is playing Uther. On the right side of the map, Ixia for the Donuts with Stukov. We got Copenhagen on Oriel. We currently have Skog on Cassia, Rutsu on Suljin, and Lauba is playing Lily. And as I already mentioned earlier, this is the 3rd time that they're playing their triple support, and they have a 2-0 win rate with triple support right now. So, well, keep that in mind. And it's the only map where that really works. Everywhere else you would need a lot more wave clear and your opponent's team could easily out macro you, but on this map team fights are everything. And then if you have this setup that brings utility, that brings healing and sustain, then you are in a good position to make the plays here. So as you can see, already stacking for Cassia, of course. Suljin, he went into the Bone Slicer as his level 1 talent. He's going to try and stack against Misha up at the top. And that should honestly allow Rutsu to get some pretty decent stacks together as the game continues. On the Immortal, we're also going to see Suljin do some serious damage. At the same time, of course, we also have now with Vala the Monster Hunter on level 1. So that's the next stop in the game, where they could really try and chunk the Immortal down as the repeating arrow kicks in on level 7 and the stacks come together on level 4. But for now at least, it seems like a kill against Cassia is not out of the question. You can already tell that they mix the setup up a bit too, because they don't have anybody that can really play the top lane alone. They now have to have a 2-3 split instead of the normal 4-1 split. And so they're rotating heroes down from the top, making this a 5 versus 4 for just a moment. And that results in a kill. Seems like Rexa announced that a little bit late that he was missing where exactly the opponents were. So now he can try to push this wave in and make sure that at least it comes at a cost and that they're losing out on a bit of the experience. But that's not really likely to happen since we already got Stukov on the way topside. And it led to the first kill of the game, of course. Now, Hogga can still move towards the top if you would want to. And here we go. Lily is looking for adventure. Lauba is just double checking everything. I feel really this is going to come down to the team fights, of course, again, once that the Immortal is up. For the time being, this 2-3 split is kind of nice. 13 stacks for Cassia, so our girl is doing her job. But Suljin isn't really getting a whole lot done just yet. Now, of course, for Suljin, you're always trying to stack the baseline as much as you can. Once that you have the 15 stacks together, it means that you are going to be able to extend the range of your auto attacks a little bit. And that makes the entire play for him not only safer, but he is also going to be able to reach a bit more in these battles. Here comes the level 4, and with that, we now get the Serpent build continued for Lily. Also got the Whip. Of course, the stacks come in for Vala with a puncturing arrow. That doesn't come as a shocker considering that it's all going to be about Monster Hunter and the Immortal damage that they can dish out. Camps now on the map. And that's where, especially Vala, can still do a bit of work. And it's party time. Already the fight is in. Rutsu, a bit of trouble. Here comes the Immortal now as well. And so Ice Cream already has to back off. Beautiful stun into the wall. Copenhagen shows that he knows how to handle a whip and is able to take down Hogga. So, quick look at that. Check out that hit against Hogga. Bam! Straight into a wall in just a second. Here it is. That sets the kill up for the team. And with that, they're able to take also the halftime show. They're moving in for the Immortal and they're chopping it down. And the blue team has to try and fight back on this. It's kind of interesting with the triple support because the entire time we were waiting in the matchup against the Hardos to see if the Donuts would also bust it out there, but they didn't. But now against Team SoundLess, they're using it once again for the 3rd time in this season. It's Copenhagen that's a bit in trouble, but he's still fine. If you have 3 supports, then you have a shit ton of sustain that you can use, and it's going to be real tricky to get kills against them. Now, there is enough damage output on the blue team side, but they're at least letting the halftime show go now and deal with the bottom of the map first. But the red team is already moving straight in for the Immortal again, and that would be a pretty beastly shield if they can take it now. 100% shield that early, that would be kind of nuts. So they're trying to go for Ixia, they're trying to isolate him here, that didn't really work. Misha goes down, and the Donuts, guys, they are murdering it here. Nenopi has decided he needs to get over there and try to take the hit points down a bit of the Immortal, but it's already too little too late. This is going to be a massive shield that he has right now. And they are going to be able to just push through that bot lane. And it should honestly result in the fort being destroyed, considering that they now also have level 7 talent. So they have a talent advantage. They have a massive shield on this one. And yeah, 29 stacks already for Cassia after 4.5 minutes. Woo! That's a pretty good setup. And a lot of damage as well. But yeah, here we go. Topside Lily is already sitting tight. Now Stukov has been anchoring the side a bit and was waiting to see if maybe Rexa is trying to help out at the bot lane, which is indeed the case. That means it's a 4 versus 5 now. So Lily is going to have more wiggle room at the top, but it also means that they might just be able to save the fort. But honestly, I don't really think so. There's still an incredible lead and experience for the Donuts, and they have all the opportunities now to come in for it. Level 7 kicks in, but it's just too late. It's not going to have an impact on this battle, at least anymore. They're just moving out. Lily is now starting to rotate down as well. We got the repeating arrow, of course, kicking in for Vala. And on top of that, after the journeyman cooking on level 1, Hogger went now straight into the dense blasting powder over here. Yeah, it's a great setup. The Donuts, they have been playing this style quite a bit. Another one, Jesus, Copenhagen, honestly. Whip training there, back at home. The man comes in and every single time slaps it out. The Indiana Jones of the Nexus, right there. One whip hit after another. Natural born Oriole player. Main support from here on out. Just you wait. Now, as all of that starts to play out, we now have on top of it, Stukov still at the bottom of the map. We have the top side being attacked, and since the bottom fort has been destroyed already, so Stukov is just holding experience there. Everybody else is just trying to make a play for the top wall to try and take that down. Lily has now gone on, so in the let's go, we got the Vicious Assault in, and the targeted excision for Stukov, the biotic armor, and the reactive ballista spores over here for him. Obviously, builds will change a bit for the supports. If you're playing 3 of them, you're trying to also get more utility out of them just in general, or damage, for example. Stacks are coming together for Vala too, so she's currently sitting at 7. But here's the level 10 ability, and we still talk about an entire level lead for the Donuts, so that hasn't changed at all. And therefore, we got our Taz Dingo in, we got the Crystal Aegis. And that's a lot of survivability. Stukov, he goes for the shove. They have at the bot lane maybe an opportunity to get a kill against Ixia, but instead he turns around and pushes Hydra out. And only Misha saves Rexa. That could have backfired very, very heavily for Hydra. That was a great setup from Ixia. Now, Hydra is not out of the woods yet. They still want him, and they're going to get him. They are likely going to get him here. Ana is now in. Oh, maybe they're not going to get him. Maybe instead we're going to see some heroes on the side of the red team die. Yeah, Rutsu gets attacked, uses his ult, and they're able to move out. The Immortal is already up on the map, but now, of course, they're losing a bit of that momentum that they were building up. The level 10 is not going to be that useful anymore, and Vala has already started to do her thing over on the Immortal side and went straight up for that. So, well, let's see what they can actually pull off here, because at least on the halftime show, it's a 50-50 split. There's no big lead this time for the Donuts. So maybe an opportunity with a level 10 now ready for the blue team, for Team SoundLess, to make a move. They got the Shockwave. Could make the play now. Yeah. Ooh, Divine Storm for Uther. Alright, he's going into the stun. Yeah, and there it is. Stun is in, and bam! There's the kill. They're using the CC to get the kills together. Take one of the supports down. Lily was looking for adventure, and she only found death. Some say death is an adventure, so hey, mission accomplished. Anyways, Aegis is in. Yeah, that could have been a bit dicey for Suljin, considering that he doesn't have his ult. He's at 13 stacks, by the way, so he's too shy of getting the range increase. And they're still on the defense, and Nenopi has now started to continue to drop the hit points on the Immortal, and thanks to the repeating arrow, he's easily going to be able to lock that one in for the team, I suppose. 15 stacks on the level 4 isn't too shabby either. But there's the win. Yeah, blue team, they get it. They lose Misha, but they have the Immortal. Yeah, nicely done. When the damage comes together, you see 29,000 kicking in for Cassia. We got still 24,000 for Suljin. But look over to Stuko, for example. 16,000 isn't all that bad. That's way more than we have on some of the heroes on the blue team side. They are mainly dishing out the damage with Hogga and with Vala. Top gets pushed alone. Everybody else is now homing onto the bottom of the map, so the blue team has started to split this a bit. Farlander is here, but he is more or less just camouflage. Everybody else is trying to do damage at the bottom and try to take those towers down. So, yeah. Not a lot of value. Not really a whole lot that they get out of this. But again, first kill for Team SoundLess. And as Vala continues the stacking, that's going to make things easier. And talking about stacking, Rutsu now has the range increase. So that's going to make the rest of his stack progress a lot easier for him. And with 56 stacks together for Cassia, Skok is also getting some serious momentum in this game. And it's going to start scaling into the late game quite nicely. So yeah, that's the next one. Either way, for now, we got all the way towards the top. One camp at least taken, so they were locking this one in. In addition to that, the 13 talents with Eye of Suljin, we got the War Traveler, got the Gale Force, Virulent Reaction, of course, is ready too. And at least the team fights seem to be a bit more even now that Team SoundLess has more CC that they can use. Not only the Rain of Vengeance on Vala is worth mentioning, but the Divine Storm pull from Uther helped really in the last encounter to take down Lily. And also deny, of course, their will, so that's another good one. And talking about Uther, he's already coming in right here as Hogga gets attacked. Where's the stun when you need it? They want to go for Stukov apparently. Aegis is out. Rain of Vengeance didn't connect. And here's the bouncy as Cassia goes for the ult. But the boars, they get unleashed. The stuns. And Stukov is dead. Stukov is down. All the heals in the world were not able to save him here. And they are, of course, trying for more. And they get more. Double kill. And they go for the triple. All three supports have been taken down, is what I wanted to say. But then I realized that they didn't get Oriel yet. They are going to get Suljin, though. Yep, Suljin goes down. That's 4 heroes eliminated. And now the objective is up on the map, of course, as well. So let's take another look at that fight. I mean, that was a great one. They got the early kill against Stukov. They committed hard for him. Then they isolate Cassia, take her down too, and Lily gets stunned just a second later. 4 kills in total, and now, of course, the entire map is there. So Team SoundLess, they are starting to do some serious work. Not only here in the middle, by the way. They are also getting more damage in at the top fort, thanks to the minion wave that they escorted in. And I just want to highlight again that these are 2 direct competitors. So every single win for Team SoundLess is going to have a huge impact here for their standing. And to make it easier for them in the playoffs of the Masters Clash. They're trying to trap Ixia here a little bit. And SoundLess was never a team that people expected to head into the top 3. Hell, I really doubted if they could go into the top 4. But now they are making more and more plays towards that goal. And it could happen. Now, the map isn't over yet, but a map victory, as I said, would go a long way for them. Especially on the first one, a bit momentum in the series could easily lead to a 2-0, for example, if they can carry it over into the second game. But first they have to win this one and lock it in. They're fighting back, they're taking team fights, they're coordinating well around the CC, but this is going to be an important Immortal here too. Misha, stun into stun attempt, but the Immortal stun gets dodged out as Lily came in and helped out. So yeah, here we go. Uther, you can already see that he's starting to move in at the top. Hogga is defending the wave. Oh, and they win it! They take the 4 versus 5. The Russian aggression is once again here. Who needs Hogga? Hogga is now slowly coming up towards the top, but they're going for Ixia, and that should be another kill. Ixia down, 2 heroes eliminated. Hogga with a shockwave. It's a triple kill, baby. And they have an easy shot at the Immortal. That is some serious control that we're seeing from SoundLess now, and some fantastic coordination too. Of course, it helps that Vala's quest on level 4 is now completed. 74 stacks for Cassia is certainly a pretty impressive number at this point in the game, but she's not in a spot where she can turn the tides of the battle. Instead, we now have a level 16 kicking in for SoundLess, and we got the Seething Hatred. With the arrow build, we get the Seething Hatred over Manticore, so they're not looking for the auto attacks. It's all going to be about the arrows. And they're doing well. I mean, it's insane how they dominated the last couple of team fights. It's honestly incredibly impressive here. And they are taking the top 4 too. So that's 2 easily eliminated. Yeah, down here, still a bit of an attempt to break out, but Orga is dishing the damage out. Some serious work done by him. And now they're starting to break through the wall again. Damage output, to give you guys a bit of an idea, 39,000 for Vala. She's not the top damage in the game, but it definitely hurts. Cassia with 48. Soldier with 39. He could scale into the late game. Aegis has to be used to save Lily, but it doesn't matter because Uther's ready with a stun. They get Auriel, and damn son, this might just be the first match that, or the first map that is lost by the Donuts on this map with that triple support composition. It seems like Team SoundLess, they have figured it out. They solved it like a Rubik's Cube. They're coming in, 11 kills to 4, and now that we're 50 minutes into the game, they're not even stopping. They're just saying, guys, if we can take the game right here, that would be it. Cassia wants to kill on Uther, doesn't get it, gets stunned, and quickly turns the entire fight against them, and that's SoundLess with the lead. Team SoundLess, they take game number 1 of the Donuts. The triple support composition has finally been defeated. Nicely done, the blue team with a big W on Battlefield of Eternity.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Towers of Doom, map number 2. Team SoundLess is ahead. Guys, honestly, it's a bit crazy if you think about it. We had the insane match between the Donuts and the Hardos, which was just fucking crazy. And now we have SoundLess in the lead against the Donuts. And the first thing that happens is the Vikings ban. I was joking a bit about how, first of all, as the map choice came through, it seemed like Team SoundLess wanted to bait the Vikings ban, which they now effectively did. But at the same time, looking at the lineup, we had one match where Skok on Towers of Doom played the Vikings himself. So it would have been kind of funny if he just simply, you know, picked it away. The one thing that I also want to throw out for everybody that is watching this on YouTube, by the way, if you are only occasionally watching some of the matches and you haven't seen the series yet between the Hardos and the Donuts, you owe it to yourself to check it out. Easily the best game of the year so far. And when we're talking about the best games in the post-HGC era, it definitely has at least a top 10 position. At the end of the day, it comes down to a lot of personal preference and what you personally believe was the best game, but it's easily in the top 10. So if you haven't seen that yet, you should check it out. It was played out on Playday number 6, so you can head into the Masters Clash playlist and check it out there. Hardos versus Donuts, that's a game that you just have to watch. It was absolutely incredible. Now that we're heading into the second map of this series, and by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, hit that button. I can see my analytics. I know that tons of you haven't hit that sub button yet. Sonya comes in as our first pick. Now, they banned out Lucio. Double support bans again. We got Uther banned out. We got Lucio banned. Chromie got eliminated. And that leaves us also, once again, with, you guessed it, Medivh. So that little bit of a game of chicken that can always be played, where you are just not really banning Medivh, you're not really picking him, and you just hope that the other team doesn't do it either. That's pretty much it. Stukov plus Mei. Okay. So, a lot of control already, right from the start. And let's see what else they can lock in on the damage side more so. And if anybody at some point says, okay, you know what, we're gonna go for Bird Boy. We're gonna go for Medivh. First we got Brightwing, and we got Falstad. Okay. Falstad still has his level 1 and level 13 banned as bugs with the talent, so that's why that's currently not allowed, but the hero himself is of course still playable, and we've seen already quite a few games with Falstad. I just remind everybody of the series that was played between Go Next and Team Arthurs, for example, where they even went into the Hinterland Blast on Falstad, gave up the utility that comes with the Mighty Gust, and just said, hey, it's all about the damage. So that was a fun one. Diablo gets also banned. And Lauber still has plenty of tanks to choose from. He's not going to run into any trouble here. Hogger gets banned now, so no top lane control with camps. Now that Sonya is already taken, that's actually limiting your options a bit. You could still always go for Leo, for Malthael on the blue team side if they want to have someone rotate between the mid and the top lane. Which is of course always like the idea on Towers of Doom. Have a strong 4-man, have a hero that can rotate, and then put someone else into play too that is just able to every now and then help out on the rotation, especially if the opponent's team is trying to interrupt it when the hero travels from one lane to another. Rexa, kind of forgot about him. The heroes of the storm, Batman and Robin. And Cassia together with that. Yeah, our girl is back to business of course as well. And with that, the last 2 picks for the red team. They are behind now. And I don't think they like that position too much. Again, the 2 teams are neck on neck. So a victory here, that would be insane for Team SoundLess. That would be the best thing that could possibly happen to them at the end of the halftime in the season. Murden and Sylvanas. Okay. Well, we got the 2 dwarves again. One is flying, the other one is throwing hammers. Actually, both are throwing hammers. And with that, we get Nenopi, everybody. Last pick. Last pick for the blue team, for Team SoundLess. They had a solid first game. They took down the triple support composition. And now we get Li Ming. So, well, with that, let's go straight away into a game number 2, Towers of Doom. And let's see if Team SoundLess can extend their lead to a 2-0. Or if the Donuts are going to bring it back now. Game number 2, Towers of Boom. Let's go. Hydra on Rexa. In our second game, we got to Ice Cream on May, the blue team in the lead with the 1-0, and our Heroes of the Storm best of 5. Farlander is playing Cassia. We got Nenopi on Li Ming, and Shamzik is playing Stukov. On the right side of the map, the Donuts with Kopenhagen on Sonya, Lauber on Muradin. We got Rutzo on Sylvanas, Ixia on Brightwing, and Skok is playing Falstad. Nenopi with the Ether Walk on level 1. And it's time to party. We got the Stormbolt build for Muradin, so he's going to try to YOLO those out. And yep, with that, we now have the opportunity for the blue team to extend their lead a bit. SoundLess impresses me. They really impressed me throughout the entire season. They did already a great job against other teams like Chili Mountain. But now they're going up against the Donuts, and as I mentioned earlier, the Donuts, they're sometimes a bit of a mixed bag. Some of the games that they play are insane, then they show some weakness in other matches. But of course, at the end of the day, you're going up against a lot of tough contenders, and SoundLess is just showcasing once again that they are one of the big boys now. At least for the time being. So, for now, we got an attempt to go for Rexa, which failed a little bit. Spray game is on point down here at the bottom, so Lauber has that already set up. Good for him. And they're starting to slowly push this out. Camps are spawning in 3 seconds, so then you're traditionally making more of a play for the pumpkin camp. And we're going to see if that happens here. No stacking for Cassia this time. We have instead charge strikes. Stormbolt comes in. Lauber with a bit of a hop and is able to connect another Stormbolt for more stacks. Here we go. The frequent flyer on level 1 for the birdie. Lauber, I mean, again, he knows exactly what's happening. Obviously, it's quite natural that the other team would also go for their camp. Yeah, and he's waiting for the rotation. Yeah, these little plays, exactly what you just saw there, those are the things that can really make the game for you. So they had their camp taken earlier than the opponent. Lauber was hiding here, and they knew that eventually someone would rotate over. And so they just said, guys, if we can catch that hero, we can maybe get a kill. It didn't work out, but it's exactly the kind of plays that you have to make. And if you lock that kill in, then you take an advantage, you're a little bit farther ahead, you do that 2-3 times, and all of a sudden you don't only have a leading experience, but you also have more map control than your opponent. So these small things, they matter a lot. If you have any kind of hero side laner traditionally rotate between the mid and the top lane, for example, you can always try to just catch them. And even if you just chunk them down in experience, in hit points, you don't even necessarily have to take them down completely. You will eventually take the lead and the momentum in the game, and that's kind of important here. But now that we're looking at our level 4 talents, we have the Stormbolt build continued with the Sledgehammer, so it's going to be much easier to complete the baseline. Camps at the top have now also been taken, so they're grabbing that. At the bottom of the map, Rutzer had to retreat. Nenopi is, of course, still trying to fire away with the combos. Went, as usual, into the Triumvirate on level 4. And Falstad now on the 4th with the Hammer Gains. Slam build for Sonya, yeah, obvious. But here comes the triple altar phase. Not really a big leading experience or anything. But it should be a top left, top right exchange. And the birdie can, of course, fly down. The real action is happening at the bottom, though. Cassia's a little bit late to the party. She's just now starting to make her way over. Top left, top right, got in and changed. There's the Stormbolt. Shamsi gets attacked. Stukov. And the bird is flying in and gets welcomed immediately. If they had a stun at that point, that could have been a kill. Rutsu with a channel, but it ain't happening. Instead, Sylvanas has to back off, and the blue team is taking control over the altar. And they should be able to lock it in, and indeed they do. So that's another 4 shots fired by Team SoundLess as they take a slight advantage in the game. Nicely done, good for them. Not enough to really make it a problem yet. I mean, again, first altar phase, so not that bad. But still, camp is going to come up in just a few more moments. Same is happening on the right side of the map. Level 7 talents together with that. And that gives us Calamity. So now Liming is going to be a lot more dangerous to deal with. And of course, we got the secret weapon over here. If you're a little bit shocked about the secret weapon, that just means that you haven't paid attention to the last patch. Here comes the Stormbolt. They're going again for the rotation, and this time Fallen is in trouble, but they're turning it on Rutsu and Skok. Fall stat is low. Everybody's low. And the birdie is the first one to fall, and here come the resets. Yeah, and that didn't really work out now for Sylvanas, did it? Lauber gets... No! He gets killed! No way! Stukov! They killed Lauber too. I was just about to say, who's playing on Lauber's account? He didn't die, what's happening? But yeah, check Li Ming out. And also check out Sylvanas as she was trying to jump away on the wave and cut it a little bit too close. Rutsu, yeah, he gets murdered, and it's Nano P that just capitalizes on all those resets and takes them down one after another. And that's 4 kills to 0. We're talking about more than a level lead at this point. 4 kills to 0. And a fantastic position for Team SoundLess. And it all started with the Donuts having a decent idea, trying to go for an intercept and just simply taking one of the heroes down. They went for Farlander, but they could not kill Cassia. So, yeah, that was a bit of a problem. Now, stacks are coming together, control is being exerted here. It's a single altar that we're talking about, could be worse for the Donuts. So it's the level 10. That's really the big deal. And Lauber will try to interrupt it as much as he can. But with level 10 abilities being just around the corner, there's absolutely no way that the red team locks this one in. It's just not happening. So, yeah, here comes the... Are you fucking kidding me? Hello? Are you guys sleeping on the job? Like, are you kidding me? They let Lauber simply channel the altar? Honestly, if that game goes down to the wire now, then that's the moment where they lost it. Can you imagine this game going down to the last few final shots and they're losing it just by a couple? Unbelievable. There's the attack with the level 10. They punish Lauber for what happened earlier. Yeah, level 10 against no level 10 ability. That, of course, ends as you would expect. But it is crazy that they let Lauber simply channel this one. Everybody was sitting around like, oh, are you interrupting him? Do you interrupt him? You know what? How about you interrupt him? And then nobody interrupted him. There was 3 or 4 versus 2 at that position. With level 10, just unbelievable. And also the balls on Lauber, right? I mean, he comes and he's like, well, we don't have level 10. They're going to get their heroics in just another moment. You know what? I'm just going to right-click that shit. And, well, there it is. I still can't believe it. But okay. 5 kills to 0. That didn't change. The camps are now being taken too. But it still means that the level 10 that the blue team got didn't give them anything. I mean, honestly, they got nothing. Nothing out of the level 10. Little pocket chihuahua over here is already yelping around a little bit. Lauber is at 15 stacks on the baseline, by the way. Yeah, and Falstad is pushing the top. This is, by the way, where Secret Weapon is now useful if you're alone on the lane, and that is the best case scenario for you to get some extra damage on the auto attacks. So that is going to help a little bit. At the bottom of the map, it's a slightly different story. Eventually, they're going to need Falstad, I suppose, but since Sylvanas is now channeling, Rutsu is getting the shots fired, it's a 1-1 exchange, but the top lane is taken. Skok is just sitting here. He has everything that he needs. The Secret Weapon does a bit more damage. Well, they didn't take it, though. Like, really? Alright, here we go. Now they're gonna go for it. At the bottom of the map, the fight is also continuing, so the top lane is not the only one where we got some extra action. But yeah, it's... You can't even see their hit points. There we go. One of the minions just spit at the structure, and then it crumbled. And that is, of course, one bell tower that is ready for the retake now, which they have to get. Normally you focus at the bot lane more because you have 2 pumpkin camps that travel through the bot lane, so that's why the lane is the most important one on the map. But at the top lane, you at least have one pumpkin camp that does the same thing, so there's that. Yeah, the level 13 talents, that gives us the Illusionist, so good for Li Ming. But it's kind of funny if you think about it. We have not a single kill for the Donuts, and they're still doing well here. It's kind of crazy. Alright, there's the Gust. They're trying to isolate Li Ming. That didn't happen. Instead, it's the Birdie that gets attacked, and the Birdie is down. Every single time they're trying to go for a play, it backfires. Brightwing comes in to help out Muradin, and they're all jumping away from this one. But Rexa is still at the top, and here comes the Stormbolt setup, and that's the end of Li Ming, and all of a sudden they're trying to go for the chase. They're going for the ice cream. First kill is ready for the Donuts. They got their first kill finally in play. We got the level 13 talents for them now too with the Remorseless. And, well, as Rexa retakes the top, the damage output is in favor of Cassia in particular. So Falstad goes for a bit of synergy now with his level 1 talent. Another Stormbolt, but I think Mei should be fine. Even with the Polymorph coming in, that shouldn't really be a problem. 6 kills to 1. Sylvanas has the push power. There's the 5 shots fired. They didn't take the points at the top yet. Hydra gets attacked. This one has not been recaptured. And down here, the battle continues, and they're giving some cover over to the bird. But he still has to dodge out. So this is still a 3 versus 2, and they're going to have a hard time holding that. And now that Brightwing moves in, there's no chance anymore. That's 10 shots off the core. Team Soundless, they're taking kill after kill after kill, but they're losing the ground now. They retake the top bell tower, so good for Hydra, but it's already a bit late. And when you look over towards the points on the core, we're now having an 18 versus 28 situation. And as mentioned previously, this could be very different if just earlier Soundless would have channeled the altar themselves and not allowed Lauber to go for it. We would look at 22 to 24 now, if they would have done that, but nope. Not the case here. So, as it stands, we have the fight over the camp because the blue team basically decided that they need to become a bit more aggressive. They still have the lead in experience, so they will hit the earlier level 16 talent, unless they're going to lose a few heroes before that's the case. But here we go. As they push through the bot lane, they're realizing that they finally need to do something. The wall is a bit late, and Falstad already escaped. Yeah, okay, Sylvanas is stopping the pumpkins. Both of the camps got taken by the blue team, and they are pressuring even more. They want the 16, they want the bell tower, and they're just saying, guys, we need to do something. We can't just passively sit there the entire time and let they do whatever they want. They got a global, they have 2, we don't. So we need to do something. Lauber is still trying to find an opening where he can catch somebody on the rotation so that he can get an easy kill, but it's not really happening now. And, well, down to the bottom of the map, now that the level 16 is ready, it stands to reason that the blue team is going to try and make a play for it again. Brightwing came in, trying to help Lauber out, and he pops everything that he has, but he still goes down. Yeah, they hate dwarfs. They absolutely hate them. So Muradin goes down, gets murdered, triple altar phase, and it's a 5 versus 4 during the triple altar phase. How much are they gonna get? Top left, top right, get interchanged. At the bottom of the map, careful, so Ice Cream is a bit low here. But now that Nenopy comes in, we're talking about solid damage, but, well, that is easily a kill. Li Ming, can she get the reset? It's a 4 versus 5 still on the map, but Rexa isn't here, so the battle is fairly even. Rexa's now slowly coming back out, but Ixia is already on the channel. He gets interrupted, but the Ice Cream pays a price for it, and here's the Gust, and there's the kill. Bam! 1 down, 2 down. Nicely done. They get 2 kills out of this, and the altar should go over to the Donuts now. Soundless, they are slipping a bit. Honestly, it pains me to say, but they're really, in some of these fights, they are their worst enemy. I understand the impulse to have Rexa for a bit longer up at the top and just guarding the position. They're struggling against the macro plays of the Donuts. That's pretty much it. Like, plain and simple. The Donuts are currently winning this on macro more so than anything else. And it's also reflected in the minion experience a bit, where they have a lead. They have, of course, from the perspective of the structures, also an advantage. And Soundless, they're doing great during the team fights, but they still have a couple of moves in the game where you just think, hey, guys, what happened here? So right now, we got 10 points on the core against 24, meaning another altar, a boss, or a couple of pumpkins, and we're talking single digits. Farlander is always trying to connect that Valkyrie, but so far that hasn't really given them any dividends. They're going for Muradin again. Brightwing is already helping out. There's the wall, but he jumps out. Rexa's coming in. They're trying to turn it into an advantageous fight. And Misha with a double stun. And there's the birdie. Birdie's down. Brightwing is down. Rutsu is about to escape. But can they finally build some momentum here? Because Copenhagen is still at the top. And he's starting to take that bell tower down again. And the blue team, they need momentum. They need to capitalize on these kills. They have 2 heroes down for 30 seconds. They need to do something with it. At the top, they already pushed Sonya back, so that's great. But they need to come in and take that bell tower. And honestly, they need to do more than that. It's a single altar again, so once more, as they are in the lead, Team SoundLess has only a single altar on the map. Last time, as you might remember, they didn't even take that. And here comes the play for Hydra, but it seems like he... Oh, no! Murder comes in, and that could be the end of him. They went deep, though. They went deep, and the rotation is there. Stukov goes down to the bottom. Hydra tries to escape, and he doesn't make it out. But now they might be trapped. It's a 4 versus 3, though, and Falset flies in 2. The bird flies in, but he has the reset. One down, Brightwing is dead. Gust! And the trade on May. The shots have been fired. May still falls. But now 2 heroes are dead on each side. So, if you think about it, that wasn't too bad for Team SoundLess. They lost a hero initially, then they came in, took 2 of them down, and traded evenly after they lost just another. So now they're closer to level 20. They took the bell tower at the bottom. They fired a couple of shots, 19 to 10 now. And I am not going to get tired in this game of repeating that the situation would be way better if they didn't give this one up for nothing. Again, it would be 14 to 15 now if they wouldn't have blundered like this earlier on in the game. So it's, yeah, that might, as I said previously, come back to haunt them. Yeah, what's also going to happen is that the top lane is going to be taken out with the pumpkins coming in. Yeah, one comes through, and that should be even a shot fired if this... Ah, okay, Rexa's already on his way, so he's going to deal with it. But here we go. We got the rotation, we got the level 20 talents now kicking in. 44,000 damage from Li Ming. All those resets are definitely doing work. Bottom bell tower gets retaken, and the same thing is going to happen at the top, but with a bit of a delay, and that allows the red team to move straight up for the next bell tower and convert this one too, to finally take control of that bot lane. Yeah, there we have it. Double altars coming up, so technically this could be the end of the game. With a 5-3 bell tower situation in favor of the Donuts, there's a chance that they get both of the altars and then end the game. But here we go. We currently have Ignore Pain in, we got the Rewind, we got the Bolt of the Storm. Same time now, we also have the Repulsion, so you can make a few more plays, and the Imprison Light is in. But it's time for the team fight. Nice setup, they're going for Lauba, nicely done. But the Mighty Gust, the Wind Tunnel is isolating them, and here we go. That's the end of the game. They're going for the kills. They take 2 down, and unless there's a small miracle that happens now, this should be the end of it. Down go Li Ming. Lauba dives deep, and he gets Hydra. Rexa is eliminated. Falstad already took the first altar, and as May falls, Skork channels the next one. Core is already down to 2 points. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of it. Nicely done by the Donuts, and Team SoundLess loses on Towers of Doom. GG, and well played by the Donuts. Game number 3, the Donuts, everybody. They locked in the victory on Towers of Doom, and honestly, SoundLess could have won that. They were doing really well on the team fights, but they royally fucked up the macro. I mean, there were a couple of moments where you're like just face palming, you're like, okay, shit happens, whatever, maybe they didn't communicate. The fact that Lauba got that one altar channel through was definitely a bit of a Monka-esque moment, but yeah, they were just killed on the macro. The double global that we had for the Donuts served them really well. We had Falstad continuously pressuring the top lane. They took that bell tower multiple times, and after having some serious trouble in the early and mid game, you could really tell that the team in red was also getting more teamfight victories. Nenopi with a really dangerous Li Ming on the other hand. So he had multiple team fights where he got a couple of kills in and several resets, so good on them. Still, a bit of a problem here. SoundLess, they need to just get a bit better on this one, because after the last map, I really think they could have taken it and now come into game number 3 with a 2-0 lead. But that's not the case. The Donuts, they saw some weakness, they saw some flaws in the plays, they exploited them, and they were able to win map number 2. Now we're heading into Cursed Hollow as our next map. And as already more or less expected, we have the Vikings banned again. You're going up against Hydra, you know that Hydra loves to play as Vikings, you don't want to risk it. You want to play a more straight-up game against your opponent, and that's exactly what we're going to get here. Now, keep in mind that they're still playing this game of chicken with Medivh. So far, nobody has banned Medivh, nobody has picked Medivh, and that usually gets us to the point where at some moment someone locks Medivh in, they win the game, and then Medivh gets banned again. That's normally what happens. But it's always a question of, do you have someone that wants to play Medivh here? And it's not like we're having Ultralisk on one team and Maka on the other, which are two of the Medivh players, of course, on the European side. But yeah, with that, we got Hogger as our first pick. Of course, great here. You have a lot of utility for him, especially if Sonya is banned. He's just like next one in line. He's great on all of the setups with the bruiser camps, with the bosses that can be taken here. And there's just so many close quarter fights where he can really shine, so good setup for them. The counter, on the other hand, Ixier's going to play his white main again, and we got Falstad also locked in by the red team, so they're going to try and use that global setup again. They're going to... I mean, it worked really well on the last map, so why wouldn't you? Also expect that we once more are going to see the Mighty Gust. So if you're talking about boss control, whenever a team is making a play for it, he's definitely one of the best for that. And Nuborog and Stukov, so already a bit of a kill comp. Nicely done too. So with Shamzik, again, the same thing that I said earlier. A lot of close quarter fights, a lot of like corridors that you can completely zone with Stukov and the Lurking Arm. So you can do that. Uther gets banned. Late ban on Uther, by the way. I mean, really late ban. So some of the traditional picks that you normally see, like Chromie and Uther, they got completely ignored. We got Abathar banned out now, too. It seems like SoundLess is just trying to make sure that there's not going to be some insane macro setup on the other side. And that makes sense. So what's going to happen now for the Donuts? What are they gonna get now? Because this is where the draft is really going to come together a little bit more. And also we're going to answer the question if they are maybe even going for more globals and try to play the macro game again. But Mei for Lauber and Cassia for Rutsu. Okay, so far so good. Now Copenhagen can still go for a side laner. Technically, if you want to play Dehaka, you can still do that. You have a double global and you can rotate around a bit. We've seen Dehaka Falstad setups again. I mean, hell, we even had a Dehaka, Brightwing, and Falstad setup just the other day. So a bit more for a Fnatic style where you're trying to play with triple globals. But SoundLess, they need to chip in some damage as well. They got their front line, they got their side laner, they got the support. So what are Hydra and NOP gonna play? It's Dehaka and Liming. They picked Dehaka away. They're mirroring Falstad now. So they have one global themselves that they can use. And we have Liming played once again by NOP. Definitely a good pick. Definitely a great pick for them. Yeah, so well done. But what's it gonna be? The last pick now coming through for the Donuts for map number 3 in all of this. And D.Va! Okay. D.Va is once again joining the lobby to win. Game number 3, best of 5 Heroes of the Storm series, everybody. We got Team SoundLess going up against the Donuts. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the third game of this series. Game number 3, SoundLess against the Donuts. And on the left side, Hydra on Dehaka, Nenopi on Liming, Shamzik on Stukov this time. We have Fallen on Hogger and Sir Ice Cream on Nuborog. On the right side of the map, the Donuts themselves with Rutsu on Cassia, Copenhagen on D.Va, Lauber on Mei with a heat transfer, Skok on Falstad, and Ixir plays White Main. And his White Main is quite successful on Cursed Hollow. It's not the first time that he plays the hero here. It's pretty much a Cursed Hollow exclusive pick for him, and he has some solid success with it. If I'm not mistaken, they even played it in the qualifiers. I actually think that Team SoundLess and the Donuts went up against each other on this map in the qualifiers, and the Donuts locked in a White Main too and just murdered. Might have been a different match, but it definitely was Ixir, who really loves to make his White Main shine. Now for Falstad, we get the same start into the build again with the Frequent Flyer as the level 1 choice. We have on top of that the Charged Strikes now, and top lane was the first one to get attacked a bit here. Yeah, Dehaka is at the bottom of the map now and is currently facing off against Cassia. And misses the drag here in the mid lane. Ooh, Skog is already getting a little bit of a beating. Apparently, Hogga is hungry for some chicken. Wants to get some extra damage on this one and drop falls that into the KFC basket. But anyways, Cursola, the beauty of this is that you can really play some different strategies around the tribute. You don't have to go for every single tribute. That's especially true when we are seeing heroes like Abathur being played or the Vikings being played. But even in this setup, it still holds value. And of course, then later on, the bosses are also becoming a huge point in this, since double boss plays are incredibly powerful if you can execute them. And even just sneaking a boss in, if you have a proper setup for that and good damage against minions and mercenaries, it can be quite nice, because you're pressuring your opponent, and if they catch up too late on what you're doing, they might not be able to take their own boss in time, and all of a sudden you can make a move for 2 of the camps. For now though, the teams at the 1 minute mark are just making plays for the Siege Giants and for the Bruiser camps. Slight delays here on all of those. Typically what's happening is that the team takes the Siege Giants at the bottom are taken whenever the first tribute spawns at the bottom. So that's what we're seeing here. Siege Giants first, Bruisers next, and on the other side we saw the exact opposite. So they went for their Bruisers and took also the Siege Giants and pushed through the top lane a little bit, trying to enhance the push power and take some of those structures down. But here comes the move through the middle. So with level 4 talents now on both sides, we also get the bed of barbs for some additional control. Both of the teams are aiming for that, of course, with their front line. So Ice Cream with the stuns and the slow, and then we have Mei, who can really control a team fight very, very well. White Mane on level 1 with the Righteous Flame, and we got the Unwavering Faith on level 4. No big moves being made just yet. Slight lead in experience, but as you can imagine, once this wave is being taken down on the camp 2, this is gonna get equalized at least a little bit. At the bottom of the map now, we have the red team taking position though, as the first tribute is about to spawn. And Hydra, he could have rotated towards the top in an attempt to just stay a bit long on lane and then rotate down with his Dehaka Global, but instead it's Farlander, and Farlander's going up against 2, and he's not really winning that battle, not even close. He's losing a lot here, especially Falstad together with D.Va, they're just murdering. And in this case, we don't even have the level 7 yet, so it's not like we are talking about secret weapon to dish out even more. They can drag against White Mane on the other hand. Ooh, sexy. Nice connect this time. They're trying to go for Lauber here as he aims to interrupt again. Hogga is still solo at the top against 2, but they get tribute number 1. Well done. Very, very well done. So yeah, that was a pretty sweet move here. And the kill, of course, that was just perfect. If you take a hero out, that's always great, but if you drop their support as the fight starts, they have no sustain left. Nice engage, and that is gonna be a double kill, maybe even. Yeah, well, they let Lauber go, but they get Cassia. Couldn't go for the double kill, but they were definitely able to chunk him low, and he has he has nothing. He needs to go back. And here comes the Ice Cream. They want him, and they might still get him, and indeed they do. Big dive. And that's another kill. So Ice Cream is able to make it out, and of course they're opening up the wall now. That's 3 kills to 0. And I am impressed by Team SoundLess today. I'm really impressed by these guys. Now, they had a great start in the Towers of Doom, as I want to remind you, and at the end they lost the map. So this could very well happen here again. But they are showing that they can pretty much play on eye level with the Donuts here. Winning game number 1 and then doing very well in game number 2, at least at the beginning, and now doing a similar setup here is kind of neat. It's a tribute for a tribute, so they didn't even make a play for the second one because it was spawning on the right side a little bit more, so the position was just better for the Donuts. Didn't want to fight into that. And instead we now have also the secret weapon again on level 7. Farlander at the bottom goes up against the bird. And Skog is at least chunking him away a bit. But up at the top, they're trying to make a play for Hydra. Now that Lauber is here, they got some extra slows. Shamzig already baiting a little bit. They're trying to go for the drag, and has the stun, the follow-up, and Mei is in trouble. Not the only one, by the way. Mei... Oh, Lauber, he's gonna get out. But ooh, that was spicy. I really, really like the way that SoundLess is currently baiting some of these heroes a bit deeper whenever they're trying to set up a gank, and then turns it against them. So that's kind of nice. We'll see if they can do a bit more there, but yeah, it's cool to see that. It's actually really, really fun. So now towards the middle of the map, we have the next tribute spawn, and of course level 10 abilities are once more a bit faster. And here we see the same pattern again. They bait them in a little bit deeper with Farlander, and then they come through and they go for their kill. The shockwave has been used. Now they try to go for the birdie too. They can't get him, but they still have 4 kills to 0, and they can go for tribute number 2 without any problems. So SoundLess, they are making a lot of noise here. At the top, we got Dehaka, who had to back off a little bit. Level 10 is now ready for both teams, but they're of course not going to make anything happen with this. Instead, the boss gets attacked, and of course, as explained a bit earlier, that move gets called out by the Donuts right away, so they are making a play for their own boss to ensure that there's no possibility of a double boss play against them. So both of them are just going for it, and SoundLess is still slightly ahead in all of this. Now, top side, Lauber is even trying to slow a possible rotation down. Also scouting it out, of course, but it's not happening. Instead, we got Pogga doing his thing again on the camp. And all the way up at the top, they need to defend against this a little bit. Down here, push is coming in. Fort should fall, or at least take serious amount of damage, but the same is also true for the top. Yeah, and now we got another tribute, and this is going to be a potential third tribute for Team SoundLess. Skog is going for a 3-2-3 moment. Tactical pause, ladies and gentlemen. Discussing what they're going to do next. Nah, just kidding. Probably some tech problems, maybe dropped in voice, dropped in Discord or something, we'll see. So Hydra is currently sitting tight, Skog is also right now over here, and at the bottom this one's going to fall. The two globals can always then move towards the top. We have Copenhagen trying to take a camp here that would push through the middle, where Hogger is, by the way, already active. So the blue team has already taken their camp, and everybody is now going to start moving towards the top to try and either take the curse or prevent it from happening. So that's what's going to go on. And, well, let's see. We got, at the bottom of the map, the fort being destroyed pretty much. So Dehaka can now rotate over. Big damage against Rutsu. They can't get the kill, but they can even chip in a little bit of damage here and maybe just get some of those minions destroyed and get the extra experience. But as you can tell, the fort is down. Falset is still defending the bot lane. And up here at the top, look at the middle, for example. They're taking down the opponent's camp. Nice! Solid setup from Farlander and solid damage. And they're getting good damage in against the structures. They let the tribute slide. They're getting something for it. They're getting all the structures here in the middle. They're opening the gate up. Falset is now flying in. Yeah, could gust. Does gust. There's the ice wall. And that's a kill. Hogger is down. Whitemane is dead as well. Hydra is a bit low, is trying to make his way out. The shockwave is coming through, and Dehaka dies. But it seems like Cassia is also going to die. At least Ice Cream wants to kill here, and that's not the only battle that happens. They're going for everything. The stun doesn't connect. Everyone is low for the red team side. But that's 2 kills for the Donuts. So good for them. Next tribute is already spawning. Yeah, I mean, there's a level 13 now available for Team SoundLess, but let's be honest here. We're going to see level 13 for the Donuts in time, or at least we could assume so. Lauber gets attacked now as well, so they're trying to make a play for him once more, and they body block him into oblivion, and that is the end of Mei. Mei is down. That's a curse. That's a curse. Your tank is gone, and that is an easy curse now for Team SoundLess. They are playing an impressive game here. I have to repeat myself. Virulent reaction is in. Bot lane gets attacked. Mid lane, they are already in position. And they're going straight up for the next play. Trying to take some of those forts down. Maybe pressure the keep. Hogger is at the top. Get some additional experience. And of course, it's the structural damage that you're looking for. The play against Skog didn't work out, but if he gets caught by that stun, then he's toast. Stukov was ready with a lurking arm immediately, and that silence would have eliminated him. Nano P eats some damage, so he needs to be careful. He's not the only one. I was also trying to follow up as the Ice Cream is jumping out, but the fort should fall, and that's of course not the only thing that gets attacked. Now, the saving grace is the Siege Giant camp at the bottom. This is going to make it a little bit harder for the bot lane to pressure structures. So they're not really getting a lot out of the curse now. They get some map control, and of course they are forcing the hands of the Donuts. Make them take a very defensive position here. But I don't think they're going to get a lot of structures out of this. They might not get any structures out of this. Maybe the mid fort, but that's about it. Top lane gets defended. And yes, this one falls, but that is not the whole lot. So, yeah, I don't know. it's not really a whole lot that they're doing here. Hydra is still fighting it out at the bottom of the map. There's of course still a lead in experience. Found the birdie! And at the top they're also still trying to damage the fort a little bit more. And so Ice Cream is already setting the trap up again. Lauber sees it coming, and this time he checked the bush. And he also made sure that he doesn't get caught here. Talking about getting caught, that was a nice one. Great ult from Mei. Yeah, they go for Farlander. Shockwave is in. Cassia might be in trouble. The isolation connects perfectly with her. And they're also going for Ixen. He's the first one to fall. Whitemane gets eliminated once again. Hoggar tries to poke out, but he dies. There's the gust out of the explosion, I might add. And the bird dies just a second later. Yeah, that wasn't a good play for him. And Mei goes down too. So that backfired hard. I mean, first, the gust out of the explosion was, of course, not the intent. They were trying to trap them here. But then Falstad finds himself in a very awkward spot and gets dropped. And now they are going for Mei. And, sorry, for D.Va. And D.Va is likely gonna get dropped too now. Yeah, Copenhagen, you can run, baby. You can't hide. So that is the end of the top fort and the end of D.Va. But yeah, check this one out again. Have a look at that team fight. Now, that was the battle. The gust already comes in, and then Falstad gets dropped. They got Hoggar, but Mei falls after the bird, and now they're even invading the Bruiser camp here, stealing this away. They still hold a 1-level lead. And I gotta say, Soundless, they are just looking great today. These guys are getting better and better. Hoggar is going for the camp. Over here, they just need to make sure that the Ice Cream is able to move out. But now that the first camp gets taken, the second one down here gets claimed too. And of course the boss is up. And that's true for both sides. So we could still see that happening. 10 kills against 3. But I still want to quickly note that we have only a 1-level gap in experience. And you look at the minimap, there is an advantage in structures for Team Soundless as well. But they haven't taken down a keep yet. And this time they're trying to go for the fight apparently. So they're not going for their own boss. They're trying to go for the battle here. But here comes the wall. Trying to set that one up. Can the Ice Cream get out? Does not seem likely. He's a bit low. The gust again pushing them out. So Ice Cream survived all of this and the boss gets leashed. The bot lane is pushing. The mid lane is pushing. The isolation of the Haka missed. And that is a lot of ults that didn't connect here on both sides. So they're still double checking on the boss, but as you can imagine, they need to send some people down to the bottom of the map or this catapult is going to open the wall up. In the middle, we had the camp push in now too. So you need to deal with that. And the blue team takes the opportunity to go for the boss, which they don't have yet. But do they have the time? Because here comes Lauber. Lauber and Rutsu are moving in. Boss gets abandoned. The drag doesn't connect. They're trying to create some space again with Hoggar. And Skog is still sitting at the side here. It seems like they're letting the boss leash again. It's not possible for them to steal it away. 33,000 damage for Li Ming again. NOP is going for those resets. The wall gets dodged. That was a close call though, but Nenobi got trapped for a moment. Nice ult for Whitemane. Beautiful. But Stukov follows up and they're trying to go for the counter kill, and Hoggar with all the damage in the world, but it's not enough. He can't. They get the kill. They can kill D.Va. The reset. Nenobi, and he gets it again. And he's popping them like pimples. 3 down, easy peasy, and now another kill against Mei. They drop 4 heroes and they can take another tribute. What a setup again, everybody. Unbelievable. Team Soundless today. Check that fight out. Keep an eye on Li Ming here. Getting the kill just before she died. Doesn't have dominance on level 4, so she falls towards the end. But they get kill after kill, and they're even dropping Mei. That's 14 kills to 5 now, and they're getting the boss all the way up at the top. Fantastic. I mean, first it looked great for the Donuts as the ult of Whitemane comes out. And then just a moment later, it's the lurking arm of Stukov that just shuts down any attempt at a play from the red team. It's a 1.5 level lead, and they're getting closer to level 20 now. So, bottom of the map, there's another tribute spawning in a decent position, by the way, for Team Soundless. It's a little bit farther towards the left. And that is going to be... I mean, honestly, it's going to be a second curse. You have level 20 talents against you. There's just no way that the Donuts are looking at this and they're saying like, yep, we're going to fight for that. Are they? Really? On the boss, that's a bit more likely. The boss play, that's a bit more likely. But level 20 is going to be tough to beat one way or another. Yeah, Lauber is here. Falstad flies in. Alright, Hoggar is pogging. And there's the engage again. Where is the shockwave? There it is. But Lauber, he's still on the point. They're stealing the boss. Well, the blue team takes it. It wasn't stolen. The blue team takes it. So yeah, not really a steal if they claim it. Now they're going for Lauber, trying to put him into a corner. Rutsu! He nearly died, but Lauber is also low, and the stun is the last thing. And here comes the ping pong. Oh my god! Hoga with the big pox over here. And now they can make the plays. They already have the keep at the top nearly eliminated, and they're making the play for the bottom now. But look at Hoga in that fight. The curse is hitting the red team hard. Hoga poked it out completely. He's currently sitting at 44,000 damage. We have Li Ming at 55k. The top keep is gonna fall for sure thanks to the Siege Giants. The bottom keep is also falling. And now they can go straight up for the core. At this point, the Donuts just have to decide whether they want to write caps lock GG or not. And of course, what the next map is going to be, because this game is 100% over. Team SoundLess, they take the kill against the Birdie, the 5-man wipe completed. And that is a 2-1 lead in this best of 5 series for Team SoundLess. Nicely done. Big victory here on Cursed Hollow for the blue team. Congratulations. The lead goes to the blue team. SoundLess did it again. A sound map that they played on Cursed Hollow. They made a lot of noise on the third map. It was fantastic. But anyways, now that we have Uther banned, we got Chromie banned, we got Sonya banned, and of course the Donuts, they are not going to be too happy about what's happening here right now. Because at this point, no matter what happens, even if they win the series, losing 2 maps to SoundLess is pretty good for SoundLess. So that's not really a great setup for the Donuts. They are trying to get the #1 spot. They played well against the Hardos, but if they just struggle against teams where they come in as the favorite, then that's a problem. Of course, they can still win 2 maps in a row now and decide at least the series in their favor, but for Team SoundLess, I would assume this is already what they would consider a bit of a win, taking 2 maps. Now that they're in the lead, they're not going to be happy with it, and they're coming in to take the entire series. And honestly, they look better today. They just simply look better. Both of the maps that they won, obviously, they played really well. But even on Towers of Doom, I think they could have just... If they just made a few less mistakes on the macro, they might have had a chance there. They struggled really with all the globals. Maybe we're going to see some bans on that. We'll see. We got Mei again for Lauber. And that honestly reminds me a bit of the last game that he played on Infernal Shrines, where he just controlled everything with Mei and pretty much single-handedly destroyed the opponent's team. We got Stukov now, Nano P with an early Tigers pick, very simply because he wants to have Odin for the objective. And this time Medivh gets banned. Yeah, that's probably a smart choice here. It starts to get a bit nasty. Diablo gets banned too, so Ice Cream can't go into these one-shot setups where he just pushes people around into walls all day long. But what exactly are we going to see at the front line now for them? With Stukov already locked in, you could still go for your Varian, you could still go for your Nubarak if you want to go for the setups for Stukov's Lurking Arm again. But then you also want to have a bit more damage behind it. And we are also still looking towards Hydra. What's going to happen on the side lane for him? He's going up against D.Va, he knows that, and he goes for Leo. So we get Leo and we get Jojo. That is a lot of wave clear immediately. Yeah, that's a lot of wave clear there right away. And that helps them on the objective, that helps them on the side lane. So they got a lot with that. But the last 2 picks now for this 4th map for Lauber's team. And again, this might be the end for them on this one. Zarya, oh, Rutsu, Zarya. Okay, and Ana comes together for the extra oomph. Yeah, Ana for the heals, Zarya for the shields, control through Mei, and they got a Cassia here. Alright, now we have a party going. Zarya is a pretty solid hero for Rutsu. It's one of his best, and it's a hero that in the past has been banned against him multiple times for that reason. They didn't see that one coming, neither did I, honestly. So now that we're heading into Infernal Shrines, the last pick for Farlander, it's Kel'Thas. Ashalanore, Salami! Let's go, baby. Game number 4, Heroes of the Storm at the Masters Clash, Playday number 7. It's the halftime. And Infernal Shrines are our 4th map between Team SoundLess and the Donuts. Game number 4, SoundLess going up against the Donuts. The blue team has the lead in the series. And the Donuts, they've been thinking long and hard about what they could do here. And at some point they said, guys, there is only one way to win this game. We need to go full Overwatch. And they nearly did it. They imported Cassia as a damage dealer, but the rest of the team fully imported from the Overwatch setup. On the left side, though, Team SoundLess with Hydra and Leo. We got NanoP this time on Khaldor. They shifted things around a bit, so Farlander's playing Tychus instead. We got Sir Ice Cream on Johanna. And Shamsik on Stukov as Lauber pauses the game to get himself some donuts. On the right side of the map, the red team with Skog on Cassia, Copenhagen on Diva. We got Ixia with a grenade setup here, contact healing coming in on level 1. And Rutsu, he's going to be the X factor a little bit, playing Zarya in this game. They're going for a lot of sustain here. They really want Cassia to come through as the carry and main damage dealer, but Zarya herself can of course also pack quite the punch. And Lauber will have to control the shrine fights, and he did it before with that very hero on the map. They go for the same frontline setup again that they had on the last map. Diva plus Mei. This time, as mentioned, they're chipping in Zarya too. But it's a pretty solid setup. On the wave clear, we have definitely an advantage for Team SoundLess, as we have Leoric coming in, Johanna for the Condemn, and of course, another X-Factor is going to be that Khaldor. When we're talking about Tychus on Infernal Shrine, it's all about Odin. That is the most crucial ability that you have. So oftentimes, or sometimes at least, it leads to the Tychus team to even abandon the first objective and just saying like, well, give them the Punisher and we're going to defend against it. We're going to try to get some counter pressure somewhere else on the map. But once level 10 kicks in, you want to have that Odin ready and go for it. And Khaldor with the Mana Addict on level 1. So it's all going to be the rotations here in an attempt to make sure that they're going to get a pretty good shield for him so that he has more safety and survivability. But it's definitely an interesting pick, and it adds, of course, more CC to the setup too. Now, you have, first of all, Stukov, who's going to be really nice with this. You have the Gravity Lapse on Khaldor. Later on, we're likely going to... Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we could see, in this case, also the Falling Sword. Normally, you, of course, go for the Blessed Shield, but since Ana is played out on the other side, oftentimes, when Ana gets played, we have the Falling Sword instead to put some additional pressure onto the healer. And it seems that Rutsu is the one that is heading out to get some donuts here for the team. And not Lauber. But yeah, so we're going to wait for Rutsu to come back, and then we're going to kick this off. Well, and at that point, it's actually back to business. But it might be the last one. Might be the last map. SoundLess with the lead, and they, today, deserve to take it. Now we got stacking coming together for Cassia, of course, with this particular setup. Already Leo with a soap bar moving through. We got our skirmish in the middle of the map as both teams are fielding the entire 5-man to see if they can maybe getting an early kill here. And yep, let's go. Let's make this work. Grenade setup for Tychus is coming in too. And it's party time. They are looking for the kill, and they might just get it. Lauber down. Mission accomplished. Yeah, again, Lauber normally was always the first one to fall, and in the last few matches that the team played, that was definitely not the case anymore. But at least for the 4th map, it's all good. It's all I guess it's supposed to be. Lauber dying, the good old days. But at the top, we also have some pressure against Hydra, so he's getting really heavily attacked by Copenhagen here, but at least he connects the drain. Now, of course, the death timers are super low at the beginning of the game, so that's an easy Mei back on the map, but 5 stacks together for Khaldor. It's a pretty solid start, actually, for him. Now, the idea with Khaldor is honestly that you're trying to get those globes together and the quest completed before level 10 hits for the opponent. That's kind of the ballpark that we're talking about. And ideally, later on in the game, of course, you're going to get even more. But it's all about trying to get the activatable up so that when level 10 abilities are kicking in, your opponent is having a harder time taking you down. And NanoP will have to rotate to get those globes as much as he can early on. Gravity Lapse attempt, but in this case, Zarya is not pushing forward, so can't do anything about that. Still, the plays from Lauber. I mean, he's continuously controlling the flank and making sure that they can't be ganked without him at least knowing about it. The entire team is now committing to the camp. It's a late one to take, but they're going for it. In the rhythm on level 4 for Tychus, so he's going to go for the extended duration on the minigun here. Whereas we have, as usual, the Neil Peasants kicking in, and also the Sins exposed, at least for now. Yeah, Tigers is going to be pretty crucial. Again, his level 10 is one of the best ults, if not the best ult that you can possibly get on Infernal Shrines. And most of the time when you're around, let's say, 20 stacks towards the objective, and then you pop Odin, you're going to lock it in for the team. Yeah, they try to go for Hydra, but they can't take him down here. No trade value activated in this one. And also no speed barriers. Give me 20 after, together we are strong. So no speed barrier in this case. I mean, it's not like there's a Vala on the other side, or that we have a Garrosh together with Zarya. That's, of course, when you see the speed barrier the most, just to allow the damage dealer to be a bit quicker on his feet, or for Garrosh to move into the opponent's team and flip him over. But not here. Camps are taken from both of them again, and the blue team is taking the early position on the objective, whereas Mei and Zarya are still in the middle and at the bottom of the map. But Zarya is now rotating towards the top side. It's actually Mei that fights it out against Leo at the bottom and holds the experience there. But the stacks are slowly coming together for Team SoundLess. They're taking the lead, and Copenhagen at least is pushing into it. But at least for now, that's a solid advantage for SoundLess. So they're sitting at 14 stacks, but the red team is starting to get more and more control over this. Yeah, so Ice Cream is now in as well. Leo's the only one that's missing. They all want level 7, and this time it kicks in a bit sooner for Team SoundLess. And that was mainly because Leoric was still in the middle of the map. But it's going to be ready for the Donuts in just a blink of an eye too. And here we go. Both teams with the extra talent. And now, of course, it's time for the fight. And a big lead now for the Donuts on the objective. And they're likely going to take it here, because that's a kill, an easy one against Jojo thanks to the D.Va explosion. And they're following it up with the second one against Hydra. Great opening for the Donuts now. They got the objective, they get 2 kills, and they can drop that top lane. They likely will even take down the fort here. I don't think they can save this. Not with it being an Arcane Punisher, the gate already gone. There's just way too much happening here for SoundLess to react to it and defend that structure. So that top fort will fall 100%. And it's about the best opening into map number 4 here that you could possibly imagine, I want to say. You take the fort down, you have a structural advantage, you have a lead in experience, you have a lead in kills. That was pretty strong. That was really good. Now, of course, the question is, how is SoundLess going to react here? What are they going to do? Because they still... I mean, half a level behind. The danger is always that you're starting to fall behind in abilities, heroic abilities, and also talents whenever the objective pops up. That's always the danger on Infernal Shrines. If that happens, then you can easily get snowballed by the opponent. So they have to ensure that they're not losing out on too much experience, that the gap doesn't widen too much. And it's pretty important to be diligent about not only camps, but also be diligent about the way that you are soaking the lane XP, so that you're never falling too far behind. And at least for now, it's only half a level, so that's not too big of a deal. If you, of course, are able to also get a kill in or two, that goes a long way to closing these gaps again. But so far, they're not doing any of this. 15 stacks for the Mana Addict, for Nenopi. So, yeah, he's not able to complete it until level 10 hits for the red team. And they got their heroics now. That gives us the usual suspects. The Ice Wall is in again. Gonna be upgraded to Shatter on level 20 if ever gets that far. And Ana hasn't made a choice yet. And we're really gonna watch out for the ult on Jojo, because as I mentioned earlier, you would assume that with all the CC that they can set up here, they might just go into the Blessed Shield. But I already mentioned that against Ana, you oftentimes see the Falling Sword. If she's becoming a problem, then jumping in and trying to take her down is kind of important. Nice play for the Fountain. Pretty typical now on Infernal Shrines, of course. If you can take the sustain away from your opponent as the next fight pops up, that's always kind of cool. And here come the heroic abilities. And we get Blessed Shield. Blessed Shield instead of the Falling Sword. No pressure on Ana. She's going to be safe in the back. And that was a pretty sweet entomb. Not sure if they're going to get anything out of it. They follow it up, but here comes the Ice Wall. They are shifting the targets on Cassia, though. But that was a nice move against Lauber and really pressured him and forced the rest of the team to react and move back down to help him out. But now they're turning it on Hydra, and he activates the trade value on Leo. Second time that Leo goes down. Okay. So, for now, we have the lead even extended a bit. The Eye of Horus kicks in for Ana. The lineup here kind of makes sense. 19 stacks for In the Rhythm. Not too much. Damage output for Cassia. She's currently the top damage dealer in the game, followed by Kalthas. who of course is hoping to get more and more extra damage out throughout the next objectives here. And this is really where it starts to become spicy, because as you can tell, they now have both level 10 abilities, blue team, red team, but we're getting closer and closer to level 13 up here. And that's where you get the extra talent. And that is exactly what I mentioned earlier. The danger on Infernal Shrines, if you are starting to lose out in the early game, that your opponent is going to snowball you. And yeah, it's gonna be a bit tricky. So let's see what they can do. They need to take the position early. And with Odin, they have a great tool in the belt now that they can use. But the Donuts are not even making a play for it, and that's exactly because of what I talked about earlier. They simply want to get level 13. And once they get level 13, they can try and force their way into the shrine and then capitalize on the talent advantage. And here we go. They get the talent, they move in, and SoundLess is kind of forced to fight this one. Kel'Thas gets caught. He hasn't completed his level 1 yet, but he's still safe, at least for now. Blessed Shield needed to be thrown out though, and oh, nice trap again. I love these entombs that we're seeing from Hydra, but the pew 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 with the Eye of Horus is just a bit too much for them to handle. Odin is, of course, just shooting the shit out of them from the range, but Odin is already getting dropped. And now the red team is taking the lead again, and they're using D.Va to create some additional space. Hydra is down, and that's another Punisher for the Donuts. The Donuts here, they're a little bit angry. They're now going straight up through the middle in an attempt to drop the next fort, and I don't really know why that wouldn't be possible for them. They still hold that talent advantage, and thanks to the objective that zones out the entire blue team, they get an easy drop on the fort, and they should be able to also open up the wall at the keep itself. So, yeah, there's that. They're coming in. They're having another kill happen against Hydra. He's getting farmed a little bit here. That's kill number 4 against Leo. And they're opening the wall here too. The Donuts are getting heavily aggressive. I mean, really aggressive. D.Va is at the bottom of the map going for another fort. They're taking all of the outer ring of defense out. All of the forts have been eliminated now. Massive structural advantage for the Donuts. They really want to bring this to game 5. And at this point, at least, it seems like this is going to be fairly easy for them. Unless, of course, the blue team is able to win a few team fights here. If they are somehow able to just come in swinging, get a couple of kills, and capitalize on the CC that they're holding, they might be able to get something done. And they're trying. Here they go for D.Va. But D.Va gets saved for now and makes her way out. And instead it's the ice cream that falls. These turnarounds are just too much. Another ice wall set up by Lauber. And this one is right on the money. They go for Farlander. They try to get the kill here. Shamsig is low. Ana with a pew pew pew. 1 kill, 2 kill, 3 kill. 3 heroes down. And we nearly have a 3-level lead now. And another talent advantage for the Donuts. Yeah, this is too nasty. Way too nasty. I mean, look at this setup now. Level 16 is ready for them. They can open up another wall. The death timers are still a bit low, so I don't think they can go for the keep. But they're toying with them at this point. Every single time that you see SoundLess come in and try to make a play, it just gets turned against them, and the Donuts lock in a few additional kills. Ana with the Eye of Horus, she's going for the kills, she's going for the heals, and she's doing everything at this point. And Lauber is controlling these choke points so incredibly well. I mean, that last wall that helped them set up the triple kill here, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Everything is just flowing together now for the Donuts. The problems that they had in some of the earlier games are nowhere to be seen. And look at, for example, Koestolo. What happened there most of the time? They pressured the support and they were able to get kills against Ixia's white main over and over again. Now he's insanely solid on Ana and is just keeping the entire team together here. So it's a total disaster for Team SoundLess. They're trying to get kills, but now they're so far behind that the stats advantage alone for the Donuts is incredible. They're heavily ahead on stats. A 3-level lead is insanity. It's not always about just getting the next talent. No. The stats advantage is crazy. And here they go again for Hydra, and he goes down. He drops at least the Entomb, but even that is not going to be enough for them. I mean, just look how Skog is absolutely destroying them. And they're stealing the camps away, the next shrine is active. I mean, they do whatever the fuck they want right now. The bullies in the schoolyard that steal the lunch money of the blue team, I mean, they take everything. They take the lunch money, They take their backpack, their shoes, the sneakers, the girlfriend, everything. It's kind of crazy over here. 10 kills to 1 now, 12 minutes in. This is a 3-level lead still. And it's pretty bananas. Pretty bonkers. 43,000 damage now for Cassia. The interesting part is that Kelthas isn't that far behind. But of course it doesn't really help him. Now, they abandon the objective. And instead they're trying to get some damage done at the top, which of course is also meant to close the gap to level 16. You know what the red team does? The red team says, well, we're going to leave 1 on the objective and the rest of us takes the keep down. Yep, that's what they're trying to do. That's why the blue team had to fall back and is now trying to take this. The wall is in and Kelthas is dead. Kelthas is very, very much dead. And so is Jojo. Ixia is coming in and is just sniping the shit out of them. Yeah, he's just taking one hit after another against them, and this is looking fantastic. This should be game right here. It's 12 kills to 1. We're 13 minutes into the game. They're trying for another kill against Hydra. I mean, the Punisher is now jumping in too. Big entomb, by the way, but it doesn't matter if you don't have the follow-up damage. They're trying to get that in with Odin, but even Lauber survives. Punisher's jumping in too, and they're starting to burn down the shield on the core. Absolute slap down, smackdown by the Donuts as they are coming in, slapping them around a little bit and locking in a victory on game number 4 very likely. That defense should be impossible. Ana goes down. Cassia goes down too. Maybe they can set it up after all. 30%. But it's only D.Va. It's only D.Va and the Punisher. 20%. They might just be able to defend. They might. Yeah, and they will. Well, maybe not. 2% and they get it. Nice. We go game 5, baby. Let's go. Well done by the Donuts. Game number 5, we're going to Dragonshire to find out which team takes the series. For SoundLess, of course, they want to win this entire thing, but as I already said, it is great for them to take 2 maps off the Donuts. If they can now win Dragonshire and decide the series in their favor, whew, that would be amazing for them. That would be fantastic. So they should be hyped right now. Last map, then again, didn't really go their way, and the Donuts, they played much, much better on the last map than they did before. The draft definitely helped, of course. Now that we're heading into Dragonshire, there's immediately a few heroes that we have to think about. Of course, Rexa is going to make an appearance one way or another. It's a question of whether or not you are tempted to pick the Vikings here. We could see that. We have seen that before. They could be banned again. There's still Medivh that is possibly up. And you can always play around the globals with Falstad, with Dehaka, and try to make some plays there. So there is a lot going on. And there is an opportunity still for SoundLess to win this one. And of course, the people that are the most happy about what's going on right now are 30k and the Hard Horse, for sure. They're looking at this and they're saying like, hey, lose as many maps as you want. It's fine with us. Makes it easier for us to establish our positions in the standings. But yeah, this is a spicy one. I love how many 5 members we have lately. I mean, obviously, we got a couple of 3-0 matches. Every single time you have a huge discrepancy between team skill. When you have the number 1, 2, 3 or so go up against, let's say, anything for Ruby or go next, you kind of know that it's going to be a tough battle for the underdog. But we are getting some seriously good games in. The other day, also a fantastic series between Team Arthurs and Go Next. Spicy one, at least. But now we get Brightwing banned. Ana gets banned. They're targeting Ixia at this point. You have Chromie banned out, and that leaves Rexa open, Sonya open, Uther open, and Uther gets banned. So we have Medivh still available, we have Rexa available, we have Sonya available. That's spicy. And the Vikings, I mean, technically too. Now, do they play Vikings here? Different story. But in comes Hogger over Sonya. Okay, so Farlander picks Hogger and the insta-pick into Rexa and Sonya. That terrifies. That, honestly, that scares the shit out of me. Just looking at that, Sonya for the camps, Rexa for the top lane, the king of Dragonshire is in, and ooh. They really prioritize Hogger highly. And he's great. He's absolutely great. But then again, you look at the opening for the red team, and it is terrifying. So, what can the blue team do? And Ubarak and Stukov. They're going for a similar setup of what we had in the past. So what can they do here? Stun into the lurking arm, into the silence. I would not be shocked for them to pick Nenopy's Liming again. Liming carried hard on some of the games where they did well. Nenopy is solid on his Liming. He got some incredible damage out. Are they pulling that one again? Vikings get banned. There we go. Vikings banned. They don't want to risk it. They are going for the better safe than sorry play. They're saying, guys, even if we waste the ban here, let's just make sure this is not going to become a problem for us, because that could just ruin our entire day. Now, when you're going up against the Donuts, then what do you ban? Do they ban one of the globals, for example, or do they target Lauba at the front line now? They go for Cassia. Neither of the two. Okay. So, let's see. What are we getting here? We still could see globals for the red team. Lauba. What's going to be the main tank for them? He played a lot of Mei. They really, really like to get Lauba on a hero where he has a huge impact and can really control the opponent's team. Lucio and Jimmy. Okay, Jimmy in the back. Lucio, Ixia, he can just like speed around the entire time. Super annoying on that hero. There's a reason why Ixia's Lucio gets banned out a lot, but after the games that we've just seen, it doesn't come as a shock that they're instead getting rid of Brightwing and Ana. I mean, Ana in particular makes a whole lot of sense. Brightwing for the global can always be annoying, and that Polymorph can screw with Stukov, can screw with Inubarak and a lot of others. Yeah. Here comes Leo and Sylvanas. Oh, Schallsweffer. But yeah, Leo again. I mean, Hydra, he was the punching ball of the team on the last map. Died 6 times? 5 times? 6 times? Something along those lines. So, yeah. And that leaves us with Lauba. For map number 5 of this Heroes of the Storm series at the Masters Clash. Let's get this together. Lauba! What's the last pick? It's Diablo! It's Dibbles, ladies and gentlemen. Diablo's in, and that sets us up for the final map of this series. Let's jump straight in. Soundless against the Donuts. We're heading to Dragonshire. It is on! Game number 5, Soundless against the Donuts. Who is taking the series? On the left side, Hydra. On Leoric, Shamzik plays Stukov, Sir Ice Cream. On Anuburak, we got Nenopy on Sylvanas. And Falenda is playing Hogger. On the right side of the map, Skog on Jimmy. We have Lucio, played by Ixia. Copenhagen on Sonya. Rutsu on Rexa. Going straight up into the Flare. And Lauba with the Feast on Fear is playing Diablo in game number 5 of our series. The final map. And yeah, this is, as I already explained a bit earlier, also the 7th Playday, and that means that afterwards, I mean, all the teams in the regular season are playing 2 matches against each other, so this is halftime for them. After we have the regular season over, we're heading into playoffs, and the idea is, of course, still that we have an offline final for the Masters Clash. And the latest info that we got is that everything is currently en route to make that offline final happen. That would happen in France then. I think it's in Paris, actually. Obviously, COVID is playing a bit of a role here, but currently everything is looking very, very good. That was the last update that we got. And all of the teams want to go there. Lauba going down again early on. So everything is working out as usual. And there's the kill against the Nubarak. Went a little bit too deep, was slowed down, and then Ixia just spat in and started to take him down. So a kill for a kill as the game starts. Both of the teams showing some aggression. We got fealty onto death for Leo, so a bit of a different setup for him now. And topside, Leo against Copenhagen. And now that Jimmy is moving in, ooh, that could have been a problem. Yeah, Hydra, he got attacked by Ixia too as he dove behind the wall. But at least, thankfully for them, that worked out. Now, Ixia is still ready. And yeah, Ixia's job is just pretty much to piss everybody off. Oh, and they went for a nice move, but they went for it a bit too late. And now Ixia's dead. Ixia's dead, and Lauba, he dies too. And guys, that is a disaster. That's a really cool play if it works out for you. But if they lose 2 heroes, as you can see here, then that is a huge problem. If you win that fight and you steal the camp, then all of a sudden you have an incredible amount of momentum going for you. But they lost 2 heroes and they didn't get the camp. So that means they wasted time. Because it's not only they lost 2 heroes, they lost more than that. They lost time. Because normally they would have gone for their own camp in that time frame, and now that's not the case. So it's only one team that pushes with the Bruiser camp. That allows them to use Sylvanas at the top to disable the structures and try to set something up. Yeah, then again, NOP gets attacked, but he seems to be able to make it out. But this is a bit of a problem. The Donuts are currently suffering because of that move, since they are now on the defense. They need to make sure that they're just slowly taking this. They have at least control over the shrines, or at least they're trying to get that here in Dragon Shire. But Hogger is already on the next camp, and not a single one of the mercenaries has been taken by the Donuts. They're just now 2 minutes, nearly 3 minutes in, making the move with Copenhagen. So that was a bit of a setback early on in the game. Still fairly even experience, but it shows also how willing they are to go for aggressive plays, and that's kind of cool. And that is a bit of a problem. So Lauba, he snuck already that one altar on Towers of Doom for free. If he gets a DK for free, that would be an issue. But instead, here comes the silence. Yeah, they nearly got the kill. And Hogger at the bot lane is now at least relieving some of the pressure in the mid lane by simply taking this. Rutsu finds himself at the bot lane, so we don't see that top lane set up for the man with the mask, for Batman. But instead, it's the bottom lane, and Rexa is always winning the one-on-ones here. And that's simply because he can control the lane. He can control the lane, he can split Misha and himself onto the shrine and the lane, control experience and everything else. So that's pretty big, and no other hero can do that. That's why normally when you're playing against a Rexa player on Dragon Shire, you want rotations to threaten him a little bit more and to pressure him eventually. The one thing that we have to pretty much mention, though, is look at the minion experience. With all the nice moves that Team SoundLess made, they are falling in a very similar trap again as they did back on Towers of Dooms. Because now we have them behind in experience, Team SoundLess. And that is despite the fact that they won the fight at the top and that they were able to pressure a bit, because on minion experience they're still trailing behind. Now it's not a huge gap, but it's definitely something that is a bit of a concern, because it leads to the Donuts taking the lead in XP. And that shows you just how much experience the Donuts have with all of this. They're playing this out real nicely. And now at the bottom of the map, the play for Hydra is being made again. Ixir, yeah, he is just slowing him down, pushing them back out. It's another kill against Leo. Lucio is so impactful in these situations when played correctly, and Ixir is one of the best. So fantastic setup by him again. That's 3 kills to 3 now, and they are widening the gap in experience. The Donuts, they are super motivated to ensure that they are winning this one. They can't afford to lose the series. It's already bad enough as is that they lost this many maps, but if they really want to aim for the #1 spot, then they need to win this series. They need to take it. And yeah, they came in as the big favorite. And in an ideal world for them, they would have taken this with a 3-0, 3-1, but now they are fighting to just win it at all. Now, Lightning Breath comes through. We got the level 10 abilities, and that of course means back off. Nice interrupt here, but eventually the Dragonite is going to be taken. And there's the first one. 5 minutes into the game. 6 minutes into the game, roughly. First DK for the Donuts. Leo at the top, connecting the drag. Can be kicked around a little bit. Sylvanas goes down. Hello, team? What exactly happened there? Another kill against Sylvanas, and now that the heroic abilities are in, they're missing a hero, so that's not really a good look either. The shockwave for Hogger, and on top of that, Leo gets an ass kicking at the top lane. But down at the bottom of the map, they're pushing too, so they're going for that split again. Lauba dove in a bit too much, but they're opening the gate up anyway, so it's not like they can kill him here. Or at least they shouldn't be able to. Even with Hogger trying to cut off his path of retreat. Instead, it's the Ice Cream that finds himself in trouble as he gets stunned into the wall. And Lauba nearly barbecues the cockroach over here. Drops the Lightning Breath, but isn't able to do a lot with it. We would have loved that kill. Top side though, Skork against Hydra still playing this out. Opened everything up and got some damage in against the keep itself. So off we go. We currently have in the mid lane also a bit of additional pressure coming through. The level 10 abilities for Team SoundLess haven't really given them a lot yet. Shockwave was used, but no real consequence. 16,000 damage for Jimmy, way behind what we're seeing for Hogger. But if you can't get the kills and you can't take the lead, then that doesn't really help you. So they go for the next camp here. But the same is also true for the Donuts as they move down to the bottom of the map in an attempt to ensure that they're getting one mercenary camp for themselves. And they got 4 heroes over here. Takes them quite some time though. Lauber gets trapped. There's the stun. Where's the follow-up? They don't have the damage here. And Misha already came in from behind, stunned them out a bit. Here come the boars. They get unleashed and the camp has now also been taken. Sonya is still chilling out in the middle. Top lane is pushing, but they're trying to pressure against the Siege Giants now. So they're starting to move in right here. Yep. And instead it's the Siege Giant that get attacked again. Yeah, level 13 is nearly ready now for the Donuts. Of course, Team SoundLess is trying to fight back as much as they can. Copenhagen at the top is just slamming it out with the Bruiser camp. But with the level 13 now kicking in, there's an Invader at the bottom. They're trying to be aggressive, and it backfires. It backfires. They are hoping for aggression. They know that Sonya is top, so they go for the 5 versus 4, and they lose Leo nearly right away. Now the chase is on with the help of Lucio. But Pogga with a big Pog, but not enough damage. So Ice Cream, he gets another set out with a stun, but they are losing NOP if they aren't careful. Sylvanas barely escapes, and so Ice Cream, he gets eliminated again. The Exterminators are in their house. The Cockroach infestation has been eliminated. And that's 6 kills to 3 now. And the Donuts, they are taking more and more of a lead in this game. Great play by them. The Donuts with some serious lead now. 3 kills to 6, as I said. Level 13 for SoundLess is soon in. They're known for the aggressive playstyle, and oftentimes it works. I mean, some of the games they won because they are willing to go into aggressive fights. They were at a talent disadvantage, and they said, guys, as long as we can make it a numbers advantage, we can still take the battle. But the Donuts, they won the fight. And, well, that's the problem. Topside gets pressured, and of course the fort is going to fall here. So they can't do anything about that, which means that top lane control is mostly gone. Down at the bottom of the map, they're making another play for Hydra, who might make it out, but with Misha coming in, it should be another kill against Leoric. And Leoric gets dropped. Leo goes down. They hoped for a kill against Jimmy in the middle, but that didn't work either. It seems like the Donuts finally found their stride. The Donuts are finally in a position where they are controlling the flow of the game the way that a lot of us expected it to happen from the beginning of the series. Team SoundLess, they took the lead twice, once after the first, once after the third map. And now, of course, it seems more and more as if the red team could lock in a victory in the best of 5 after all. But it's not over yet. It's not over until the fat lady sings. She might be taking a deep breath at this point, but she's not starting it up yet. 3 kills, 2-7, half a level away from 16 for the Donuts. And now potentially another Dragonite or a kill against Stukov. 1 stun, 2 stun, but Lauber is there. They go for the quick cocoon. Skog makes it out, and now the fight might just turn against Team SoundLess again, as we've seen in so many of the previous battles. Yeah, it's not looking too good for them. Once 16 is ready, it should be another Dragonite. It is a problem. It's a big problem. So over here, we got 26,000 damage now for Jimmy. It's an endless brawl that happens here. Battle after battle. They're starting to come in with a fight and a good entomb. But the heals are... the heals are just simply too much. Lucio is wrecking them. Ixia, honestly, he is such a beast. It is insane. And everybody else is coordinating these attacks beautifully well too. Here comes the channel. Rutsu gets interrupted, but they kill Leo again, and they're not stopping there. They're trying to go for Farlander. Hogger barely survives the onslaught, but now the Dragonite is making its way through the middle as they're going straight up for the next fort, trying to drop this one too. What a great performance here from the Donuts. This is what we expected from game number 1. Definitely a bit of a slow start for them here today, but they are doing work. So at this point, we had 8 kills to 3. They took the fort down. That was the last one. And now the move down to the bottom of the map in an attempt to open up keep number 1. Now, half a level, a bit more, is missing for SoundLess to get their own level 16 talent. And once they have that, they can at least force fights on even talents again, for what it's worth. Doesn't change the fact that they really need to win some fights now. Big time. Big time. So Sonya is already moving topside. As I mentioned previously, the experience that they have, a lot of it. Look at the gap in minion experience here. Of course, hero experience is a huge chunk right now thanks to the massive lead that they have there. But the minion experience lead is still pretty significant. And that happens because they always rotate back onto these lanes. We just saw it from Sonya. She moved towards the top side. She caught the wave, took the XP, and then moved back out. And they're making these plays over and over again. But now we have level 16, so if there ever was a moment for the red team to be a bit cautious, then it's now. Because Team SoundLess is going to be looking for these fights. They know that this is probably the best chance that they have to take a team fight, win it, and close the gap a little bit. And that's what we're seeing. They're immediately being aggressive here, but Hoga, he got nearly killed. And instead, Leo gets attacked. He had to come in for the entomb, but it also means that he's losing a lot of his HP. Stukov with a big slap as they're trying to get away, but they're chased hard. Lucio, there's sound barrier, and they are chasing them. Sir Ice Cream, he is down, and that is a double kill against Team SoundLess that they are going to have a hard time recovering from. That bot lane is wide open. There's a Siege Giant camp that's going to push in another moment. And of course, they're going for the keep here. We're only 13 minutes into the game, and they want to end this one. But Jimmy is down. Hoga with a shockwave. The setup. Leo comes in, and if he gets the entomb out, he's missing 4 seconds on the cooldown. They might be able to get more kills. Yeah, they get at least Misha. Lauber is going to die. There's the entomb. Ixia is down. And, oh, haha, Kopenhagen, he should be able to get out now. So, the keep, still up. They saved the keep, 7 kills to 10. But how do you play it out from here? What do you do right now? How do you close that gap in experience even further? How can you get maybe a bit farther ahead? Because now it's up to the camps. They can catch the experience at the top with Hydra. They're going to try to go for some pressure at the bottom with Sylvanas, I assume. And, well, in the meantime, the objective is popping up again. So there's an opportunity to go and try to take the Dragon Knight. So that's at least possible. And they're already pushing through the bot lane heavily. Yeah, here we go. Taking the fountain out. And they're going to also take the fort itself. And they're closing the gap even further. Can they take the fort? They only have 3 heroes here, so most likely it's not going to happen. Problem for Leo is that he wasn't able to take the top either because Rexa is there. So he can't, I mean, he has no chance against the Batman and Robin of the Nexus. Obviously, Rexa's Robin. Just in case there was any doubt about that. But yeah, Misha has to back off, so they're going to take this. Level 20 talents are in, and that's all that Lauber's team wanted to do. They wanted to get the level 20 talent advantage so that they can play for another Dragon Knight. Now, on 20, we got the Execute. We also got the Kill Command in, Hellgate. And, yeah, Ice Cream on the way down to the bot lane. Every single time I see that talent, by the way, I have to think about Hellgate London and how much potential that had. How awesome that universe was. And how shitty the game was. Yeah. The bug fiesta. Kinda sad. That would have been a cool thing. That would have been an insanely awesome universe. I'm really sad that nobody else made something happen with that universe. That would have been really, really cool. But anyways. Dragon Knight is in. And of course now the keep is likely gonna fall. The only thing that SoundLess can do is try to get the XP. So they get level 20 for the defense. And even that is not all that easy. Top lane is, of course, going to do some damage. But here at the bottom, the red team is going to try and make a play for a game. Yeah, they're going to try and take that one down. Because right here, we got Sonya with 40,000 damage. She's the top damage dealer on the red team. Even higher than Rexa and Jimmy. I mean, Jimmy is third. Keep is down. They're already falling back. 64,000 for Hoga, by the way. Yeah. And it's party time. Top side, it's only the mages back up. He's not going to be able to get some serious damage in. But we got 20 versus 20. Hoga hasn't died yet, by the way. Now that it's Stukov, so 2 of the heroes on the blue team haven't fallen yet. Yeah, we got them all, so now with the Burning Despair. Going for a little bit more here, also with the Rewind now. Plus the Bolt of the Storm. And the Donuts are playing this super safe. They're playing this really slow. They don't want to risk anything. The worst case scenario for them would have been to try and go for core, get wiped at the core, and all of a sudden SoundLess comes back, takes 2 forts down, maybe even the keep, and gets back into the game. So it's 20 versus 20, 1 keep is down, that gives you a solid advantage, especially since the Donuts haven't lost a single fort yet. At the same time now, of course, SoundLess still has an opportunity to dominate a team fight and then carry the momentum. Because now we are heading way into the late game, which means that we're looking at pretty long death timers. And that is one of the biggest tools or the biggest things that gets utilized in the late game to start a comeback, that if you get those late game kills, the death timers are so high that you are in a position where you can do a lot before those heroes appear back on the map. Yeah, they're popping the kill against Misha. Rexa, Cocoon, but they drop it. And here comes the Atom, but look at the barbecue. Lauber with the big boy barbecue right here. Hydra stays a bit long. They're still trying to go for something. The shockwave comes out. Hogger with a big of a pog, but here comes the Hellgate. They go for Sir Ice Cube, but at least they're trying to. Hydra is low and he goes down, trades himself for the rest of the team to still be alive, but it seems like that is the moment where they go for core. And just as I say it, I was like, really? But yeah, they are moving back too. They don't want to take that yet. Now, Hydra is of course dying a lot, but at the same time I also have to throw it out there. If you trade anybody in the team fight, you of course want it to be Leo. First of all, he still has value while he's dead. Second of all, his death timer is low, or he can lower the death timer anyways. And when he spawns, he doesn't have any travel time. So if anybody needs to sacrifice themselves during a team fight and wants to draw abilities, it is Leo. Especially, you see in the early game, oftentimes teams making plays where they sacrifice Leo because he's going to respawn immediately. That's most of the time happening around the first objective. Now, as it happens, we have our moves in the mid lane as they're interrupting again. They try to drop Misha. Oh, Misha gets attacked! And is she barely going to make it out? Nope, she dies. An unbearable situation here in the middle of the map. I don't think it would have been impossible for her to make her way out of this, but it wasn't quite working. So now Rexa, he is going to have to wait a bit until she's going to be back to business. Bot lane and top lane are in the meantime being pressured. The catapults are of course now having a much bigger impact now that we're later on in the game. Yeah. Shockwave not thrown out yet. Might have to use it here. So Ice Cream attacked and the slappity slap of Stukov. Shockwave comes out. The big Pog forcing the sound barrier. And Pogga is dead. Pogga is down. The bot lane gets attacked. The core gets attacked. This is looking bad. Dragon Knight, ladies and gentlemen, is claimed 19-20 minutes into the game. The top lane gets murdered with the catapults. At the bottom, we currently have the attack also pushing towards the core, and the red team is moving in for it. It seems like the Donuts are pulling it off. After all, they are going straight for the victory in the best of 5. Unless there's some miracle defense that Team SoundLess is throwing out now, this is over. Here comes the Cocoon. They're trying to do what they can. And they're burning the Dragon Knight down pretty quickly, but the shield on the core is now nearly gone. And I don't think that they have the damage to stop it that soon. Now, the Donuts, they're going for it. Nice silence here in the back. They go for Jimmy, but the game is over. And the Donuts with the victory in the best of 5. A nice comeback here at the Master Slash. GG and well played.